covering every county. This is your statewide newscast, Arkansas Today.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us for Arkansas Today. I'm Rebecca Jeffrey, in for Aaron Nolan. The U.S. Supreme Court declines to hear a challenge to an Arkansas law that includes strict rules on abortion providers. The Abortion-Inducing Drug Safety Act was passed in 2015, but the law never took effect. For 3 years, it's been tied up in pending litigation on its constitutionality. The law requires any doctor who gives abortion-inducing medication to have a contract with another doctor who has the authority to admit the woman to a hospital in case of an emergency.
It was passed overwhelmingly by both the House and the Senate, and I think that spoke to the bill and what it really was all about, and that's about the safety of women.
And there are already women who have scheduled those abortions, and they're going to be very disappointed. It's going to wreak a hardship on them.
Now that the Supreme Court will not hear the case, all that's left is the lower court ruling saying the law can be enforced. Making misdemeanor pot arrests the lowest possible priority for police and prosecutors. That issue will go up for a vote next week by Little Rock City leaders. At a meeting Tuesday night, Police Chief Kenton Buckner told the board he doesn't necessarily disagree with the idea, but fears possible unintended consequences.
Even though this addresses adults only, when we say to adults that it's okay that, that everyone just kind of smoke marijuana, police are just going to kind of drive by you, we don't have time to fool with that kind of stuff, it creates this atmosphere that everything is kind of wide open.
Little Rock Ward 2 Director Ken Richardson has been pushing for the policy change. He believes misdemeanor arrests clog courts and jails. We're hearing from Governor Asa Hutchinson following the arrest of his son over the weekend. William Hutchinson III was arrested Monday for drunk driving. Authorities in Washington County pulled him over. The 42-year-old is charged with DWI. The governor says everyone who has family understands the difficulty that parents can have.
We just ask for understanding and prayer, and he's a grown man. He will have to respond to this in court just like any other citizen, and it's something that we take very seriously. I know he takes very seriously, and he'll just have to answer and be responsible for it.
William Hutchinson III is set to appear in court in Washington County on June 19th. More than 24 hours after a large fire destroyed a Northeast Arkansas business, lumber inside the store is still burning. The building is a total loss. The Hoxie Fire Chief says it's also a big loss for the town since it was the only locally owned home improvement store. When firefighters arrived at the Hoxie Lumber Company, the front of the building was already fully involved. Flames were showing through the front doors and roof. Fire officials say the fire spread quickly because of the flammable materials inside.
Also impact our community due to sales tax dollars coming in, but Square Post building is open. They are still going to build their square post buildings, their metal buildings, and keep moving forward.
The store owner says he's focusing on construction work and talking with insurance companies to find out the next step. Arkansas State Police are helping the investigation. A Jonesboro teen is recovering in a Memphis hospital after being hit by a truck. His AAU basketball teammates gathered for a prayer vigil Tuesday night for Quentin Tate. His coach said they were praying for Quentin's healing and for his family.
Family needs us at this time. We are definitely a family-oriented, even though we all got separate names. We under one motto, and that's to reach out to the kids that are here in this, not only Jonesboro, but in Northeast Arkansas.
Coach Gregory is collecting donations for Quentin's mother to help with the expenses of staying in Memphis with her son. 2 professors at the University of Arkansas have received $375,000 for concussion research. The grants are part of a 3-year project to investigate what happens to the brain when it receives injuries. They say concussions don't just happen to athletes, as the elderly are also prone to them. Some of the money will also go towards supporting a summer camp for kids interested in biomedical engineering. Hundreds of people from across the world headed to Northwest Arkansas, all for one thing. It's that time of year, Walmart shareholders meeting. Walmart is welcoming associates from places like Japan, Kenya, and Chile. The annual meeting is scheduled for Friday, but many events already keeping associates very busy until then.
The associates that we bring from around the world, they just get it. I mean, they enjoy being part of this company, and I think it comes across regardless of what language you speak.
Past meeting hosts have included Justin Timberlake, James Corden, and Will Smith. Bet you heard of them. Young victims of domestic violence getting the chance to go to a unique summer camp. Women and Children First is an advocacy group and is partnering with Camp Aldersgate to host Arkansas's first ever Camp Hope in July. It's part of a national initiative to foster hope in kids through a fun week-long summer camp. In the last 5 years, more than 1,000 kids have come through the Women and Children First domestic violence facility. 3 Arkansas students are representing the state in the National Spelling Bee in Maryland. Today is the second day of that competition. Daisha Blalock of Jonesboro, Weston Sills of Farmington, and Pavani Cheatham-Setti of Bentonville are all participating.
I was in group 1 and I got to go and spell on the stage, and thankfully I spelled it correctly. And it takes a lot of studying to get here and commitment to spelling, because it's really fun, and if you're committed to something, then you keep going for that.
I love the attitude. The spelling bee continues through Thursday. There are more than 500 students competing. A Little Rock community activist doing his part to make sure kids are staying out of trouble and keeping up good grades. And he's doing it with a little bit of cash initiatives. William Graves, known as Uncle Willie, and the street intervention team gave $5 to students who made the honor roll at the end of the school year. The Fraternal Order of Police helping by giving $150 to help toward those rewards.
We're doing this here in the hopes that this will catch on in Little Rock and people will understand that young people strives harder to do good when you start rewarding them. And after a certain period of time, it becomes automatic to them, to do good, and whether they get a reward for it or not.
This is the 3rd year Uncle Willie has given a reward to honor roll students.